Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
Jürgen Habermas' 1985 publication, The Theory of Communicative Action, stands as a monumental work of 20th century social and political thought, an ambitious two-volume synthesis that sought to reconstruct the entire edifice of critical theory, emerging from the long shadow of the Frankfurt School's profound skepticism toward Enlightenment reason. Habermas undertook a formidable task to salvage the universalist promise of rationality from the wreckage of its instrumental distortion. He accomplished this through a decisive linguistic turn, relocating the foundations of reason from the solitary consciousness of the subject to the intersubjective structures of human communication. The result is a sprawling theoretical architecture that offers both a powerful explanatory model of social evolution and a nuanced normative framework for diagnosing the pathologies of modern life. Through his central concepts of communicative action, the lifeworld, and the system, Habermas constructs a compelling argument that the crises of modernity stem from the colonization of the communicatively structured lifeworld by the steering media of the political and economic systems, providing a durable and profoundly influential basis for renewed critical theory of society. The intellectual genesis of this masterwork lies in Habermas' critical engagement with his formidable predecessors. He inherited from Theodor Adorno and Max Horkheimer, particularly their seminal work Dialectic of Enlightenment, a deep concern with the self-destructive tendencies of modern reason. Their powerful critique depicted a world where instrumental rationality, the efficient calculation of means to an end, had expanded to encompass all spheres of life, culminating in a totally administered society, devoid of genuine freedom. This diagnosis, while potent, led to a theoretical impasse, a deep pessimism that left few resources for social critique or emancipatory practice. Habermas sought a way out of this cul-de-sac. He found a crucial starting point in Max Weber's theory of social rationalization. Habermas accepted Weber's fundamental insight that modernity is characterized by a process of increasing rationality, but he found Weber's conception of reason troublingly incomplete. Weber's focus on post-rational action, Auswirkrationalität, mirrored the one-sided development that Adorno and Horkheimer had lamented. For Habermas, this account overlooked a second, co-primordial form of rationality embedded in the very structure of language and geared toward mutual understanding. To develop this insight, he performed a remarkable synthesis, drawing upon the Anglo-American traditions of analytic philosophy of language, particularly the work of J. L. Austin and John Searle, and American pragmatism, especially the social psychology of George Herbert Mead. From Talcott Parsons' structural functionalism, he repurposed the distinction between social and systemic integration, laying the groundwork for his own two-level conception of society as comprising both life-world and system. This intellectual triangulation allowed him to build a theory that could acknowledge the achievements of modernization while simultaneously identifying and criticizing its inherent pathologies from a robust normative standpoint. The conceptual heart of the entire project is the distinction between communicative action and strategic action. Strategic action is instrumental, oriented toward achieving a preconceived goal by influencing the behavior of others, treating them as means to an end. Communicative action, in profound contrast, is oriented toward reaching understanding, or Verständigung. It is a cooperative process in which actors seek to coordinate their plans of action, coming to an agreement on a shared definition of the situation. This process of reaching understanding is made possible by the unique properties of human language. Habermas argues that whenever we speak with the intention of being understood, we implicitly raise a series of validity claims. These claims form a universal pragmatic infrastructure of speech. Specifically, a speaker makes a claim to the objective truth of the factual statements they utter, a claim to the normative rightness of their action in its social context, and a claim to their own subjective truthfulness or sincerity. In everyday interaction, these claims are usually accepted without question, forming the consensual background of the life world. When a claim is challenged, however, the participants in communication can shift into a mode of discourse. Discourse represents a special form of communication where all motives except the cooperative search for truth are suspended. In this idealized forum, arguments are assessed on their merits alone, and the unforced force of the better argument is the sole arbiter of agreement. This procedural conception of rationality, grounded in the deep structure of language itself, provides Habermas with the Archimedean point he needed. It furnishes a standard of reason that is universal and immanent to social practice, allowing for a form of critique that appeals to the very presuppositions we make whenever we engage in genuine communication. This foundation in communicative rationality undergirds Habermas' two-level model of society, which elegantly integrates the phenomenological tradition of Edmund Husserl with the systems theory of Parsons. The lifeworld, or Lebenswelt, is the vast, intuitively known, and taken for granted horizon of shared cultural meanings, legitimate social norms, and personal competencies that individuals draw upon in their daily lives. It is the realm of symbolic reproduction, where culture, society, and personality are sustained and passed on through communicative action. The lifeworld is the background reservoir of meaning that makes social coordination through mutual understanding possible. As societies modernize, however, certain domains of action become functionally differentiated and uncoupled from the life world. These domains form a system, which consists primarily of the capitalist economy and the modern administrative state. The system is coordinated through special, non-linguistic steering media, money, and power. These media allow for the coordination of action over vast distances of time and space with an efficiency far exceeding that of communicative action. They achieve this by replacing the need for discursive justification with simple binary codes. The economy responds to prices, and the administrative state responds to hierarchical commands. This uncoupling is a necessary and, in many ways, progressive feature of modernity, as it relieves the life world of complex organizational but the critical power of Habermas' theory derives from its diagnosis of what happens when the relationship between these two spheres becomes pathological. He describes the central crisis of late capitalist societies as the colonization of the life world. This process occurs when the system's steering media, money and power, and its inherent instrumental logic penetrate and displace the communicative mechanisms of the life world. Systemic imperatives begin to dictate outcomes in domains that should, for their health, be coordinated through mutual understanding and normative debate. The result is a series of social pathologies, the commercialization of art and culture subordinates aesthetic value to marketability. The bureaucratization of social services transforms relationships of care and solidarity into administrative procedures. The juridification of family life replaces informal ethical understanding with formal legal contracts. In each case, a domain of the life world is reconfigured according to the logic of the system, leading to a loss of meaning, a sense of alienation, and the erosion of the social solidarity that is forged only through communicative interaction. This diagnosis moves far beyond the totalizing critique of his Frankfurt School forebears. It allows for a differentiated analysis. It values the efficiency of systemic mechanisms in their proper place while offering a precise criterion for identifying their destructive overreach. The problem is the imbalance, the encroachment of instrumental rationality upon the terrain of communicative reason. Upon its publication, the theory of communicative action reverberated throughout the intellectual world, reshaping debates in sociology, political philosophy, legal theory, and cultural studies. It became the foundational text for a new generation of critical theorists, providing a comprehensive paradigm for social inquiry. Scholars like Sailor Ben-Habib drew upon its conception of discourse to develop powerful theories of deliberative democracy, while Axel Honneth, Habermas' most prominent successor, extended the analysis of the life world into his own influential theory of recognition. Yet, such a monumental work inevitably attracted searching critiques. From the perspective of postmodern philosophy, thinkers like Jean-François Lyotard expressed profound suspicion toward Habermas' project, viewing his appeal to rational consensus as another homogenizing grand narrative that suppresses difference and plurality. Feminist theorists, including Nancy Fraser, raised critical questions about the formal and abstract character of the ideal speech situation, arguing that it could obscure substantive inequalities of power and privilege that systematically disadvantage women and other marginalized groups. A different and highly sophisticated challenge came from the systems theorist Niklas Luhmann, whose own magnum opus, Social Systems, presented a competing vision of society as a network of self-referential, operationally closed systems, a view that dispenses with the privileged role Habermas accords to the communicating subject and the life world. Habermas engaged with these critiques throughout his subsequent career, refining and developing his theoretical framework. His later work, especially Between Facts and Norms, represents a massive application of communicative theory to the domains of law and politics, seeking to show how the rational potential of discourse can be institutionalized within the legal and constitutional structures of a modern democracy, thereby mediating between the system's need for efficient governance and the life world's demand for legitimacy. In conclusion, the theory of communicative action remains a landmark of intellectual history, a profound and enduring effort to rethink the foundations of social critique for a complex modern world. By relocating rationality in the pragmatic presuppositions of language, Jürgen Habermas provided an escape from the aporias of the earlier Frankfurt School and fashioned a powerful tool for social analysis. His distinction between system and life world, and his diagnosis of the latter's colonization by the former, offered a nuanced and compelling account of the tensions and pathologies that beset contemporary societies. While it has faced sustained and important challenges, the theory's core insights continue to inspire and orient critical inquiry across a vast range of disciplines. In an era marked by the fragmentation of the public sphere, the rise of strategic misinformation, and the deep polarization of political life, Habermas' insistence on the fragile but persistent potential for reason and solidarity embedded in the very fabric of human communication provides a vital intellectual resource. It is a testament to the work's enduring power that its call to defend the communicative infrastructure of the life world against the encroachments of systemic power feels more urgent today than ever before.
We really appreciate you tuning in to this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.